Hello and welcome to KTAL News Now. I'm your host, Marlo Layson, and today I am joined by a very special guest, Dr. Angelique Feaster Evans. She's the executive director of the North Louisiana Civil Rights Coalition, and she's here to talk about some of the great things that they have going on at the coalition, including a fundraiser or part of their fundraising effort to restore the historic Old Galilee Baptist Church in the Allendale neighborhood, correct? And she's going to just share a little bit about what they're working on, progress of the restoration, and a timeline for when that historical church will become a civil rights museum and site here in Shreveport. Welcome, Dr. Feaster.
Thank you so very much for having me.
Thank you. So tell us a little bit about for people who don't know, just give us a broad overview of Old Galilee and its historic place in Shreveport.
Absolutely. Old Galilee Missionary Baptist Church is one of the most historic African American churches here in the Shreveport area. As it relates to the civil rights movement, it is noted as being the first church here in our area where Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. visited, first in 1958. And then it is also noted through the King Center's records that he visited again at Old Galilee in 1960. And so we are very proud to be a part of the work in restoring this historic edifice into the region's first civil rights museum. And we have been working very closely with the city of Shreveport, who's leading the restoration process and making sure that this building, as well as the civil rights legacy of Shreveport and North Louisiana, continues for many years to come.
So can you give us a little bit of a progress update? I know that there was some structural work to make sure that the building was structurally sound, shoring up the walls. How far have you all come with that progress and kind of where you are in the restoration effort?
Absolutely. So as mentioned, the city of Shreveport is taking the lead with regards to the restoration efforts, and what we have been doing and what is complete. We have the floors and all of the foundational work, the walls, the roof, the windows are currently being completed, but the primary foundational pieces are done. The basement has now been stabilized. So we're really in the stabilization period of the work. As I mentioned, the city of Shreveport is leading it, so they can certainly speak to the specifics as it relates to the stabilization components. As you and I had mentioned last year, there was an update on the project and the work that has been going on with regards to Old Galilee. There is, and it is currently being worked on with the HVAC and the electricals and the water and sewage and all of those components foundationally that will be needed for the building to become operative. They are certainly underway. The primary parts of phase one of the stabilization has been completed, but there were indeed some additional components that the city is doing a great job in leading that effort with major contractors on that project.
And projects like this, obviously, this is a huge undertaking. Great financial cost comes with it. You mentioned the city of Shreveport and all of that they're doing. Are there any fundraising efforts on the part of the NLCRC? Are there any ways that local people or people just have a heart for projects like this can donate or become a benefactor to the restoration?
Certainly, as mentioned, the city of Shreveport through the Choice Neighborhood found grant as well as National Park and Service grants have been crucial to providing the resources for the stabilization efforts. Now, the coalition is this month exactly is celebrating its 10th year anniversary, and we have launched a brick campaign. And this brick campaign will be a part of the front entry and to the museum. And what we are doing, we have launched a Revival Now capital campaign where individuals can purchase a commemorative brick. It can be named in the memory or the honor of an individual. It can also be a brick where they can have their name or an organization's name, but it will be a primary and prominent prominent component of the front facade of the new museum, and guests can certainly come and see their names, their loved ones' names, or even their companies or organizations' names for perpetuity. And so this particular initiative is something that we're wanting to galvanize interest with the community. There are two levels of bricks. You can get a 4x8 brick or an 8x8 brick, and you can have multiple names on the bricks. And so it's something that we want to encourage the community to be involved in. One, as a nod to the work of the North Louisiana Civil Rights Coalition that they've been doing for the past 10 years, as well as the anniversary of the 10th year of operations. And we're getting ready for our Giving Tuesday initiative that will be coming up for December 3rd. So we thought this would be a perfect time to launch this, and donors can certainly go to bricksrus.com/donor site/NLCRC, and they can certainly take the opportunity to view and hear and read about the progress and the work that we're doing and why we're doing this capital campaign. And of course, we have membership opportunities that are available for students all the way up to corporations, and that can be found on our website at nlcrc.org.
Fantastic. You all are the North Louisiana Civil Rights Coalition. In addition to this preservation project, what are some of the things that you all are doing? I was so fascinated to learn all of the outreach that you all are involved in. So share a little bit with our viewers about ways that you all are engaging with the community and ensuring that this very, very vital piece of American history is preserved.
Absolutely. So we have our signature gala called the Living Legends Gala that we just had back in May, Mother's Day weekend, as we were honoring the mother of the local civil rights movement, Mother Maxine Sarpy, and giving an opportunity to celebrate all of the contributions and her life and legacy to the civil rights movement. And so that is a event that we host as a way to honor those that have been a part of the civil rights movement. In addition, we launched last year Bridge Builders Breakfast, and that initiative is a way for us to recognize key individuals in our community that are doing the great work of building bridges and creating this sense of unity within the community. We think that is vital across racial lines, across age, and seeing how we can certainly move the needle and understand that we are greater together. And as Dr. King, or we normally hear during MLK Week, teamwork makes the dream work. And so we want to see ways that we can come together and celebrate and provide a platform to recognize those individuals that are doing the great work of continuing to establish community in what Dr. King said, our beloved community. And so in addition to the Bridge Builders Breakfast, we also have an ongoing programming initiative that we call Memories of the Movement. We've been very fortunate for the past couple of years to work with the Shreve Memorial Library System and providing forums at the various branches to have dialogue about key issues as it relates to civil rights on the local level as well as the national level. This year, we provided platforms to have discussions about Brown versus Board of Education and celebrating and commemorating that 70th year anniversary, but most importantly, having conversations and dialogue with individuals who were students and or teachers that were part of the integration of Caddo Parish Schools, Bossier Parish Schools, as well as Lincoln Parish Schools. And then one of the things that we are certainly proud of is our work in having an oral history initiative. And the Oral History Project is key, where we invite, in fact, individuals that are listening and viewing today, if you know of individuals who were involved in the civil rights movement and would like to have their stories shared, we are gathering those oral histories, we are recording them, and we are documenting them for posterity's sake, and they will certainly be housed in our museum for generations to come to hear about the lived experiences of individuals that were involved in the civil rights movement. And then I have one last piece to say that we're so very proud about, and that is our Oral History Education Project. We have been working for a number of years with Caddo Parish Schools, and we are so very proud to say, with funding from a grant from the Caddo Parish Commission, we have been able to go into various schools and the process. First, introduce the importance and the significance of oral histories, and then teach the process of oral history interviewing to high school students, and then those students get the opportunity to actually conduct oral histories with civil rights leaders and individuals that were a part of the movement.
That is absolutely wonderful. That's a piece of this puzzle that we cannot state enough, right? Is the importance of young people learning the history, sitting in front of the people who paved the way for them, learning the stories of their city, right? Learning the history that lives within your city. You don't have to look to Montgomery. You don't have to look to Biloxi or New Orleans even, right? There is a great history in Shreveport of that era, and great people who worked very hard at the state and national level to establish these freedoms that we all sometimes even take for granted. So I think you all are doing great work over at the North Louisiana Civil Rights Coalition.
Thank you.
Is there anything else that we haven't discussed? Any other surprises? Anything that y'all have? The MLK holiday is coming up. Do you all have any events that you all host, or how you're involved in the
Absolutely.
weekend?
So upcoming for the MLK holiday celebration, we will have our second annual Bridge Builders Breakfast. That will be the Saturday culminating MLK holiday. So that Monday is on the 20th, and then the breakfast will be held on the 25th. That will be at the Shreveport Convention Center, and promotions will be going out, but certainly we want to invite people to visit nlcrc.org or join us as being a Facebook friend on our Facebook page for North Louisiana Civil Rights Coalition, which is primarily the hub that we're able to get communications out about our activities and programming. We're always looking for volunteers and individuals that want to help to be a part of this movement, because one of the things that we're so very proud of is that, it is important that all of us understand the significance of the civil rights movement and how we as, citizens of this community, we have that responsibility of helping to share that movement with future generations as well as our current generations of young people, and how they can, as you mentioned, remember the sacrifices as well as the accomplishments for the individuals that paved the way for them to have, the rights that they have today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us today. I knew that this would be a really good conversation because you all just hold a wealth of history at your organization, and the things that you're doing are so great in preserving that very important legacy in American history.
Thank you so very much for having me.
If you want to know more about the North Louisiana Civil Rights Coalition, you should check out their website, NLCRC, lots of C's, lots of R's, .org. Also follow them on Facebook, as Angelique said, that they keep a lot of updated information there to find out ways to get involved. Buy a brick, buy 2 bricks. One for you, one for a friend. Do what you can to help preserve this very important legacy and history of Shreveport, Louisiana. Dr. Angelique Feaster Evans, keep butchering your name. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for watching KTAL News Now.